Okay, so welcome back to our year-end revision class. Okay, if you're new here, hi, I'm Miss Chang. Okay, today is lesson 3 already. All right. Okay, so allow me to have a little bit of an introduction first. Okay, we are a Math Specialist Center. Okay, we're a Math Accelerator Center located at Parkway. Right, so we help students with borderline grades turn around their results in a short period of time. So we have many students come in and they struggle with problem sums. Okay, it could be you're not familiar with highlighting the keywords, right, and applying it to the strategies, okay, to answer the question. So okay, give me a moment. Yeah, so right, we have students who have been with us for a while, and we see great improvement. Okay, after they are provided with the strategies that we help them practice with. Okay, so it's actually very fulfilling for us also to see them very happy with their improvement and the results that they get after some time. So the objective of this revision class, right, we want to, of course, help students who are struggling with their problem sums, okay, provide them with some strategies such that they can tackle the questions better during the exam, okay, not just getting the answers correct, but also to do it fast, because during the time period, there's a time limit during the exam, and it's important that you're able to identify what kind of strategy you have to apply whenever you see the question. Okay, so since the upcoming SA2 and PSLE is arriving very quickly, so we would like to provide this platform for students who need more help. Okay, so every lesson will have 2 strategies. Okay, each strategy has 4 questions, and at the end, if there's enough time, we'll be doing higher order thinking questions. Okay, so the same ground rules apply during this Zoom revision class. Okay, audio will be muted, so communication is only through the chat box. Okay, so please participate, answer questions, and also ask questions when in doubt. Right, and no spamming of the chat with unrelated content. Please be considerate. Okay, you have your fellow students here who are also trying to pay attention, right? And they want to be heard in the chat as well to share their answers. So don't spam the chat with unrelated content. Right, and then it should be 4. Okay, listen attentively, write down the solutions, and have fun. Okay, so before I start, just a heads up. Right, today is revision 3. Next week will be revision 4 on the 4th of September. Right, and then we will have a break during the September holiday. Right, before we continue with revision 5. Okay, so during this September holiday, we have a boot camp right at our center. So it's for primary 4 to primary 6. I think we have secondary school also. All right. If you are interested, you can sign up at this website here, right? It's a 2-day intensive program to give the students a final push before they go for their exams. All right, okay, so let's start with this. Okay. All right, so if you have this worksheet, you can take it out with you. Okay, today we'll be doing fractions 1. So So strategy one will be doing repeated identity, right? So these are the steps, right? They're pretty simple. So the first step, okay, you'll be given a fraction and you have to convert it to ratio. Step two, identify the repeated identity. Okay, step three, make the repeated identity equivalent. Okay, so how do you do that? Right, you should be quite familiar using common multiple. Right, and then part four, okay, step four, you have to solve for the answer. Okay, so let's start with strategy one first. Okay, question one, Ron had half as much money as Alice. Okay, Alice had 3/4 as much money as Lynn. If Ron had $45 less than Lynn, okay, find the total sum of money among the three of them. Right, so first step, okay, you have to convert your fraction to a ratio. How do you do that? Okay, once you see this fraction, right, and A as much as here, you can draw your arrows such that each number here represents Ron and Alice. Right, so over here, 3 and 4 for Lynn. Over here. Okay, so now that we have really drawn our arrows, let's write down the ratio. So you have Ron to Alice. By looking at the arrow here, 1 is for Ron and 2 is for Alice. How about the second set of ratio? You have Alice and Lynn. Right, I already wrote Alice here. So Alice to Lynn, 3 is to 4. So what's the next step? Identify repeated identity. Good. Okay, so you have Ron, Alice, and Lynn. Okay, the repeated one, you can see here, this first set of ratio has Alice, and the second one also Alice. Right, so now you have to make them equivalent because since it's repeated, Alice should be the same, correct? Right, so common multiple of 2 and 3. Right, what's the first common multiple? Yeah, 6, good. Right, so you have to make it equivalent. So the first set of ratio times 3. Second set, you want this 3 to become 6. So times 2. So write down your final set of ratio. Why times 3? Because the first set is 2 here, right? You want to become 6. So times 3 here. Right, so first set of ratio, 1 times 3, 3. Okay, Alice will become 6. And then for Lynn, 4 times 2, 8. So Lynn has 8 units and Ron 3 units. Right, so this highlighted part here, Ron had $45 less than Lynn. So this is the difference, less than. So find the difference between Lynn and Ron in the unit form first. Right, so you have 5 units. So these 5 units must relate to $45 here because it's the difference. So 5 units equals to $45, right? Can you calculate what is 1 unit? Okay, good, right? $9. Right, 45 divided by 5 to get your $9 here for 1 unit. Okay, so what's the last step? Find the total sum of money among the 3 of them. So you need the total number of units here. So Ron has 3 units, Alice 6, and Lynn 8. Okay, good, correct. So 7 units in total. So find 17 units. You already have 1 unit here. So you can take this 1 unit times 17. So the total amount would be, I think some of you already found it, right? 1, 5, 3. Yes, correct. Okay, very good. A lot of you got it. All right. Okay, let's practice the same one in the next question. Okay, let me clear this. Right, so Siti had 2 out of 7 as many sweets as Joel. As many sweets. Okay, so you see this fraction, draw your arrows. Melvin had 3/4 as many sweets as Joel, right? So as many again, and a fraction given. So draw your arrows. Okay, Joel is at the bottom here, so let me draw it here. Okay, Melvin had 39 more sweets than Siti. This is our keyword. So highlight it and underline, right, if you haven't done so. Find the total number of sweets that were shared among the 3 children at first. Okay, so now that you've drawn your arrows, we can convert it to your ratio. So you have Siti here and Joel. Right, so Siti is 2, Joel 7. Alright, and then Melvin and Joel. So Joel, we have him here already. It is 4. And then Melvin, 3. Alright, so the next step, make repeated identity equivalent. So you can already see here, Joel is being repeated in your 2 sets of ratio. So make them equivalent, common multiple of 4 and 7. Okay, so you have to multiply 7 by something here and 4 by something else such that you get both of them the same common multiple. Yes, correct, 28. Okay, good. Right, so multiply by 4 here and multiply by 7. Right, once you've established this, then you can write out your final set of ratio. So 2 times 4, 8. Okay, Joel will be our common multiple, 28. How about Melvin? 21. 3 times 7. Okay, so you got your final ratio. Let's look at our keyword. 39 more sweets. Melvin has 39 more sweets than Siti. So Melvin, right, looking at your ratio here, has 21 units. And then Siti, 8 units. Right, more sweets means difference. So difference, you have to find the difference between the units first. So 21 units minus 8 units. What do you get? Yeah, 13 units. Good. So this 13 units, okay, it must be this 39 more sweets, right? Because they're both differences between Melvin and Siti. So 13 units equals to 39. Find one unit first. So what's one unit? Three. Okay. Then find out the total number. So total, you have to add up all the units. So 8 units plus 28 units plus 21 units. 57. Okay, good. So at the end, 57 units. You take your 1 unit 3 times 57. 171. Okay, good. Why is it not 3:4? Okay, you drew your arrows already, right? In the question. So 3 belongs to Melvin, 4 belongs to Joel. So when you draw it here, you write it down. Under Joel, it should be 4. And under Melvin, it should be 3. Right, accordingly to what you drew here. Okay, so any other questions before I go on to the next page? All right. Next page, question 3. Okay, I'm gonna clear this. Q&A will be end of class. All right. Okay, on to question 3. Okay, the figure is made up of a rectangle and a square. The area of the square is 1/3 the area of the rectangle. Right, so once you see this fraction, draw the arrow. All right, given that 1/5 of the square is shaded, what fraction of the figure is shaded? Right, so let's write down the first ratio here down first. So square and rectangle. Okay, so your square is 1 and rectangle is 3. Right, so how about this fraction here? Are we able to draw the arrows? Okay, you don't have something on the left side here. So think about it. 1/5 of a square is shaded. So always look at the denominator. Right, 5 units is the units for the square. So how much of it is shaded? Only 1 unit out of the 5 units. So shaded to the square is 1:5. Okay, so what's the repeated identity? Shaded, square, or rectangle? It's quite obvious, right? Yeah, it's a square. Okay, so you have 1 and you have 5 here. So you have to find the common multiple, right? But it's just 1 here, so it's pretty simple. All you have to do is times 5 here. To make this square, 1 unit into 5. So 1 is to 5 is to 15. Yes. Right, so now that you have this, okay, let's fill it in your diagram here. The shaded is 1 unit. Right. And then the square is 5. Right, so this entire square is 5. However, the unshaded part here, okay, you have to take away the shaded 1 unit here. So 5 minus 1, you have 4 here. How about the rectangle? Right, you have 15 units. However, this shaded part takes up part of the rectangle, so you have to take away 1 from this 15. Right, so what fraction of the figure is shaded? We have to put shaded over total. Okay, so shaded is easily obtained, it's just 1. How about the total? Right, the total, okay, is this unshaded part here, which is 4, plus 1, plus the 14. Okay, so what do you get here? Anyone calculated already? What is the total units for the figure? Okay, Jaden, Alex, yeah, 19. Right, so the total here, okay, you can write down the working. 4 plus 1 plus 14. Right, so a lot of students make this mistake of not subtracting away the shaded part here, right? So remember to do that before you add up the total units for the figure, otherwise you get it wrong. Okay, give you some time before I go on to question 4. Alright, okay, question 4. Okay, so after you've already understood the strategy, right, if you're confident, you can try it by yourself and then look up on the screen to check your answer. So the figure is made up of a rectangle and a square. Okay, once more. The area of the square is 2/5 the area of the rectangle. Right, so draw arrow. 2 for the square, 5 for the rectangle. Given that 3/4 of the square is shaded and the area of the unshaded part is 72 cm squared, what is the area of the figure? So let's write down this fraction first in ratio. So you have square to rectangle. 2 is to 5. Given that 3/4 of the square is shaded, so remember, look at denominator. 4 is for the square. Okay, how much of it is shaded? 3 parts out of the 4 units. So 3 is to 4. Right, so your repeated identity in the first set and the second set will be your square because it appears twice. You have a 2 and a 4 here. Right, so what should I do to make it equivalent? Times what? Here. Common multiple, you have 2 and 4. Okay, some say 8, some say 4. Okay, it should be 4 because you're using the first common multiple, the lowest one. Right, so you just times 2 here, you can get 4 and it will already be equivalent. So 3, 4, and 10. Okay, so before we move on, let's continue looking at the question first. Okay, read again. The area of the unshaded part is 72 cm square. Right, the unshaded. So do we know the units for the unshaded? We have to fill it in first. So the square and the shaded. Square is 4. Shaded is 3. Okay, so the square unshaded part here, how many units? Here, type in the chat if you know. What's the unshaded part of the square? The entire square is 4 units. Shaded is 3. Okay, very good. Yeah, 1. So 4 minus 3, you get your 1 here. Okay, I can write it down for those of you who don't understand. 4 minus 3 equals to 1. How about the unshaded part for the rectangle? Entire rectangle is 10. So 10 minus your 3. 7. Right, so the area of the unshaded part is this 1 here and 7. So the unshaded portion of the figure is 1 unit plus 7 units, 8 units. Okay, given that this 8 units is 72 cm square, okay, we can find 1 unit. Divide by 8. What do you have? 9, good. So now what's the area of the square? Can you try and calculate? What's the area of the square? So many different answers. 36, 27. Okay, so some say 36, some say 27. Alright, for those of you who said 27, read the question again. What is the area of the square? Did they ask you for the area of the unshaded part of the square? Yes, they're asking for the square. So look at your ratio here. 4 units. Right, so you have to find 4 units. So it should be 36. Alright, 36 cm square. So final answer, please remember your units. Alright, so once you're done, let's move on to strategy 2. Next page. Okay, I'm going to clear this. It will be best if you write along the way as I'm writing also, otherwise you won't have time to finish copying. Okay, so equal fraction, let's look at our strategy at the side here. Okay, so identify which fractions are equal. Step 1, right? And then step 2, make numerators the same using common multiple again, right? And then step 3, solve for answer. Rohan, correct. Okay, make numerator the same. Okay, so question 1. Let's read the question. Okay, 3/4 of Cherry's money is the same as 5 out of 6 of Brian's money. Keyword, same. Okay, so you have these two fractions and they say it's the same. If Cherry had $24 more than Brian, what is Cherry's and Brian's total sum of money? Correct, you have to make numerator the same. So first step, we already identified the fractions that are equal, these two. So you have Cherry and Brian. Right, 3/4 and 5/6. These two are the same. Now step 2, make numerators the same. Do they look the same now? No, 3 and 5. So common multiple, 3 and 5. What is it? Okay, thank you. 15. Right, so multiply such that we have 15 times 3 and times 5. Alright, so now that you've done this, let's rewrite our fractions. So the first one, we have 15/20 and 15/18. Okay, now, so once you've gotten to this step, right, you have to identify that this 20 here is for Cherry and 18 is for Brian. Right, then what is the other information we have not used? If Cherry had $24 more than Brian, more than. Okay, so it's difference. So what's the difference between Cherry and Brian? You have 20 and 18. So 20 units minus 18 units, 2 units. So 2 units is this difference here, $24. Find 1 unit. Okay, good, Nabil, $12. Right, but this is not your final answer. What is Cherry's and Brian's total sum of money? You need to find the total. Okay. Yes, Jerry, 20 units plus 18 units. So 38 units is in total, right? You have 1 unit, you can easily find 38 units. So 12 times 38, and you will get, good, 456. Okay, when you're done, question 2, let's try the same strategy and apply it. Okay, good. A lot of you understand the strategy. Okay, I'm going to clear this. Let's try question 2. All right. Okay, there are some cows and goats on a farm. Right, 1/5 of the number of cows is equal to 5/8 of the number of goats. So what's the keyword here? Equal. Right, so you have 5 out of 8 and 1/5. These two are equal. So cows and goats, 1/5, 5/8. Next step, make numerators the same. So these two fractions, we have to make their numerators the same. So you have 1 and 5. So we can change this 1 easily to 5. Right, and then rewrite your fractions. 5/25. Okay, 5/8. Yes, correct, Jaden. Okay, so this 25 units is for the cows. 8 units is for the goats. What's the other keyword? 34 more cows and goats. So the difference between the cows and the goats is 25 minus your 8 here. How many units is this? What's the difference? 17 units, good. Okay, so how many goats are there on the farm? I'm going to start a poll here. So try and get the answer and then select the answer that you have. Okay, so you have to identify 17 units. Okay, what does it represent? Which number? Okay, a lot of you have already submitted your answers. But the rest of you, just try. If you're not sure, you can refer to the previous question. Okay, what does this 17 units represent? Okay, quick. I'll end the poll soon. Okay, so select the answer that you have. Okay. I'm ending the poll soon. Okay, let's see. Alright, so this is what all of you have chosen. Okay, so 50 of you chose 16, and that is the correct answer. Right, so why did some of you choose 50? Okay, 50 is actually the number of cows. They're asking you for goats. Right, and the 8 here, if you selected 8, okay, 8 is the number of units for goats, but it is not the number of goats on the farm. So how do we solve this question? Okay, 17 units is the difference between the cows and goats. So 17 units must be this 34 more cows here. Right, with this you can find 1 unit. Take your 34 divided by 17 to get 2. Right, and then you know the goats. Okay, they have 8 units. Since you know 1 unit, right, you times the number of units for the goats and you can get 16, which is what majority of you have chosen. Right, so if you did not get this correct, you can maybe use a green pen, right at the side what the correct working should be. So next time when you revise, you know that this is something you should look out for. How to find 17 units is the difference between cows and goats. Cows got 25 units, goats got 8 units. Right, question 3. Okay, Mrs. Lim bought some white rice and some brown rice. She cooked an equal amount of white and brown rice. Keyword, okay, underline and highlight. Okay, cooked, equal amount. Right, she had 3/4 of the white rice and 3 out of 8 of the brown rice left. What fraction of the rice which Mrs. Lim bought was cooked? Step 1, okay, let's go back to our strategy. Identify which fractions are equal. Right, so you have your white rice and your brown rice. And you have cooked and left. Okay, which fraction is the one that's equal? Okay, so look at what you highlighted. Cooked is the one that is equal. Alright, so you cannot equate 3/4 and 3 out of 8. This is what is left. Did they say the amount of white rice and brown rice is the fraction that is equal? Right, the one that is left is equal? No, right, look at what you highlighted. The one that is cooked is equal. Right, so this question is a bit trickier. They're asking you to find out what is the amount that is cooked first. Okay, so write down whatever is left here. Right, so now which is the fraction that I have to equate? The cooked one. Right, 1/4 and 5 out of 8. So cooked. Okay, you have white and brown, 1/4 and 5 out of 8. Step 2, make numerators the same. 1 and 5. So what is the numerator that I have to change? Yes, this one. 1 times 5. Right, so rewrite it. You will get your 5 out of 20 and 5 out of 8. So now your numerators are the same. This 20 belongs to the white and the 8 belongs to the brown. Okay, so the question is asking you for the fraction of rice that she bought was cooked. So the total amount of rice, okay, you add up white and brown first. 28 units. Right, how about the amount that is cooked? Okay, we know that 5 units out of the 20 units for the white is cooked. Right, same thing for the brown. Okay, so the fraction will be cooked over total. 10 over 28. Okay, can you all simplify this? What is your final answer? Five over 14, good. Okay. Okay, great. All right, Ryan, Tanya, Alex, okay, all of you got the same answer. Okay, a lot of you also got it. Very good. Okay, let's carry on to question 4. Apply the same strategy. Okay, it'll be good if you try it by yourself right now. Okay, and then along the way, you check whether you're doing the same thing as me. Okay, so Mr. Lim has a total of 540 long and short rulers. After selling an equal number of both types, he had 1/3 of the long rulers and 1/6 of the short ones left. What was the total number of rulers left? Alright, so you have long and short rulers. Okay, the equal number, right, is it what is left or what is sold? Okay, can you type in the chat, is it left or sold that is equal? Okay, can you type only relevant content? Yes, sold. Okay, after selling an equal number. So sold should be the one that is equal. But are the fractions that we have what is sold? No, it's the left. Okay, so long you have 1/3, short you have 1 out of 6. So if 1/3 is left, 2/3 must have been sold. If 1/6 is left, 5 out of 6 must have been sold. And these are the fractions that we have to make equal numerator. So sold, you have long and short. 2/3 and 5 out of 6. Okay, so make the numerator the same. What is the common multiple of 5 and 2? Good, 10. Alright, so make your numerators the same. Times 5 and times 2. So you'll get your 10 over 15. Okay, 5 times 2, 10. 6 times 2, 12. Alright, so 15 belongs to the long rulers and 12 belongs to the short rulers. What was the total number of rulers left? Okay, so what is the information that we have left out here? 540 in total. So do we know the total number of units? Right, you have 15 and you have 12 here. Okay, good, Ayman. 27. Yes, a lot of you got 27. Okay, you add it up. You have 27 units And this total must be this 540. So what is 1 unit? 540 divided by 27. 20, good. Right, so what was the total number of rulers left? Okay, you know 20 in total was sold, right? Okay, so you have 10 units plus 10 units. So 20 units was sold. So what is left? Anyone? What is left? Yes, 27 units minus 20. Total minus what is sold, you will have whatever is left, 7 units. So 7 units, okay, you have 1 unit which is 20 times 7, and you can get your 140 as your answer. Okay, let's go on to the higher order question. Okay, any questions? Okay, you can circle a question and then at the end of class you can ask me. Let's go to the higher order questions. Answer is 140 for question 4. Alright, Jasmine spent 4 out of 9 of her money on 6 marks. Right, she bought another 3 identical marks and 10 files with the rest of her money. Right, so keyword. Okay, she bought another 3 identical marks. Okay, they're identical. Right, and then the rest of her money was spent on the 10 files. Part A, what fraction of her money did she spend on the 10 files? Right, so what is 1 whole? Okay, look at this fraction here. 4 out of 9. Right, so the denominator will tell us that all of the money that Jasmine has will be 9 units. Okay, so 1 whole will be 9 out of 9. Okay, right, so all of this money, 4 out of 9, was spent on 6 marks. So what is the rest of her money? Yes, 5 out of 9. Right, this was spent on 3 identical marks, which is the same marks as this, 6 marks here. Right, and then 10 files. Right, so what we can do here, okay, we have to find out these 3 marks here, what is the fraction? Right, so using this part here. Okay, what we want to do is to eliminate, take away the marks. When you have 2 items, right, you want to be left with only the 10 files. So you have to make these 6 marks here the same as the 3 marks. Yes, correct. Okay, divide by 2. So you will have 3 marks here and 2 out of 9. So 3 marks is 2 out of 9. Here. Right, let me write it up here, there's no space. So 5 out of 9. Okay. is 2 out of 9 plus 10 files. So how do I find 10 files? Yes, correct. Okay, you have to take away these 2 out of 9 from your 5 out of 9. So 10 files, right, would be 5 out of 9 minus 2 out of 9. So we're left with 3 out of 9, and you simplify it. So what is it? 1/3. Okay, so this is for part A. Part B, how many files could she buy if she had spent all her money on files only? So 1/3 of her money is spent on 10 files. What is all of her money? What is the fraction for all of her money? Correct, 1 whole, 3 out of 3. Okay, so these 10 files times 3 to get 3 out of 3, so 30 files. Right, so part B, this is what you will get. About 4 or 5 marks. For this question. Okay, right, let's go on to question 2. Any questions you can ask me afterwards. Alright, so Mrs. Lee baked 84 more apple pies than cheese pies. After selling 4 out of 7 of the apple pies and half of the cheese pies, she had 153 pies left. Okay, I'll leave one on the screen a bit longer. Okay, how many apple pies did she bake? Alright, so for this question, those of you who are in my class, what is this type of question? Starts with a B. B what and what? Apple pie and cheese pie. You have a before. Ryan, correct. Okay, you have BCA. Something happened before and then there's a change. They sold the pies and then you are left with this much. Okay, let me finish up this question first, then we can wrap up. Okay, so before, right, you have 84 more apple pies than cheese pies. So these two fractions for the apple pies and the cheese pies, okay, times them together, the denominator. Right, why do we want to do that? Because we want it such that all the numbers in our BCA table are divisible by 7 and 2. Alright, so 14 units. Apple and cheese pie, which one is lesser? Cheese, right? Because you have 84 more. So cheese pies assign the 14 units here. Okay, and then your apple pies, you have 84 more. So this must mean your apple pies is 14 units plus 84. Okay, so this part is very important. If you don't get this first part, you're not able to carry on. Alright, so after selling 7 of the apple pies. So apple pies, 7 off. Okay, off is times. So apple pie has 7 of the 14 units. and 47 of its 84 pies sold. So how many units and how many apple pies were sold here? Calculate it. Correct, 8 units. And 47 times 84. 48, good. Okay, this is how much was sold, right? After selling 47 of the apple pies. How about the cheese pies? Half of them were sold. So half of the 14 units. 7, correct. Okay, so after, let's find out how much is left. Okay, apple pies, 8 units were sold. So 14 minus your 8 units, how many are you left with? 6 units. How about the other portion of the apple pies? This 84 here, minus your 48, 36. How to get 6? Your 14 units here, minus 8 units. And then 84 minus 48. Okay, and then for the cheese pies, is half of it gone, so you're left with 7 units. Right, and then they told us that there are 153 pies left, which is the after model here, this part, after portion here. So this must mean the apple pies and the cheese pies, you add everything up over here. Okay, you will get 153. So write it out. 6 units plus 36 plus 7 units, right? All of this here, you can get 153. Okay, so add up these units here. Yes, correct. Okay, so some of you got it already. You are working kind of like backwards, or you have to cross the bridge. Okay, let's say this is 153. Okay, is equals to 13 units plus 36. So how much is 13 units? Yes, correct. So 13 units. To get it, you have to take your 153 minus 36. What do you get? 117. If 13 units is 117, find 1 unit. Okay, divide by 13. So 1 unit is 9. Okay, good. So how many apple pies did she bake? Apple pies is 14 units plus 84. So AP apple pies. Okay. You have to find your 14 units first. So 14 times 9 plus your 84. Yes, correct. So 210 apple pies. Okay, this is your final answer. Yeah, this question higher order, so it's a bit tougher to understand. Okay, you can ask me questions afterwards. So this is the end of the revision class today. All right, let's go back to this. Yeah, so thank you for joining us once more today. All right, any questions, you can contact us at our email here or WhatsApp us. Right, and this is our website. Okay, do take note about the uh, September holiday bootcamp program that we have. Okay, you can take a look at our website if you want to sign up and come to our center so you can have the 2 days intensive program. All right, so that will be all for today. I'll be staying back a bit. If you have questions, you can ask. Thank you. I hope you took away the important strategies and the keywords that you have to highlight during the questions. Yeah. Okay, bye bye.